Is there a kind of prayer that God responds to more than others? Is there a posture of the heart that captures his attention? The answer is yes. Not because God plays favorites, not because some words are more magical than others, but because Scripture reveals specific kinds of prayer, specific heart postures that consistently move the heart of God. Today, you are going to discover 5 kinds of prayer that Scripture says get heaven's attention. These are not formulas. These are not religious tricks. These are real, biblical, soul-level postures that position your heart to connect with His. James chapter 5 verse 16 says, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." Your prayers matter, but the way you pray matters too. Not the volume, not the length, not the eloquence. The heart behind the words. That is what moves God. By the end of this message, you will never pray the same way again. Number 1. The humble prayer that admits need. Jesus told a story about 2 men who went to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, a religious leader. The other was a tax collector, a man everyone despised. The Pharisee stood and prayed about himself. He thanked God that he was not like other people. He listed his good deeds. His prayer was a performance. The tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even lift his eyes to heaven. He beat his chest and said 7 words, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Jesus said only one of those men went home justified. Only one prayer moved God's heart, and it was not the impressive one. It was the honest one, the humble one, the prayer that admitted, "I have nothing to offer except my need." God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. That is what James chapter 4 verse 6 says. When you come to God with a list of your achievements, you are not praying, you are performing. And performance does not move His heart, but humility does. The prayer that moves God is the prayer that says, "I cannot do this on my own. I have nothing to earn your favor. I need you." That kind of prayer never leaves heaven unmoved. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you prayed like the tax collector, not asking for things, not listing your accomplishments, just standing before God with open hands and a humble heart? That is where intimacy begins. Number 2, the persistent prayer that refuses to give up. Jesus told another story. A widow kept coming to an unjust judge asking for justice. The judge did not care about God or people, but the widow would not stop coming. She kept knocking, kept asking, kept showing up. Eventually, the judge gave in just to stop being bothered. Now here is the point. If even an unjust judge eventually responds to persistence, how much more will a loving God respond to His children who cry out to Him day and night? Luke chapter 18 verse 1 says Jesus told this story to show that people should always pray and not give up. Persistent prayer is not about convincing a reluctant God. It is about demonstrating genuine faith. It is about wanting something so deeply that you keep bringing it to the only one who can truly help. The problem with most prayers is that they stop too soon. You pray once, maybe twice, then silence comes and you assume the answer is no. But what if the silence is not rejection? What if it is an invitation to press in deeper? The persistent prayer says, "I believe you are good. I believe you hear me, and I will not stop until you move." That kind of faith moves God's heart, not because He needs convincing, but because persistence proves trust. What is that one thing you stopped praying for? Maybe it is time to pick it up again. Number 3, the surrendered prayer that trusts His will. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed the hardest prayer anyone has ever prayed. He was about to face the cross. His soul was overwhelmed with sorrow, and He asked the Father if there was any other way, any other path. He was honest about his desire. But then He said 9 words that changed everything. "Not my will, but yours be done." That is the prayer of surrender. It is not pretending you do not have desires. It is not suppressing your honest feelings. Surrender means bringing everything you want and everything you fear and laying it before God, then releasing the outcome to His hands. God is moved by surrender because surrender requires trust. It is saying, "I believe you know better than I do. I trust your plan more than my own, even when I do not understand, even when it costs me something. I trust you. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." Surrendered prayer opens doors that demanding prayer never will. Most people pray with their minds already made up. They tell God what they want, and then ask him to sign off on it. But the prayer that moves his heart is the one that says, "I have my desires, but I want your will more." That prayer changes you before it changes your circumstances. And a changed heart is always the first move of God. Number 4, the honest prayer that holds nothing back. Open the book of Psalms, and you will find prayers that are raw. David pouring out fear, anger, confusion, grief, and joy, all in the same breath. He complains, he questions, he cries out, he praises, sometimes in the same psalm. And God called David a man after his own heart. How can that be? Because David never pretended. He brought his real self to God, not a polished version, not a religious performance, the real, messy, unfiltered truth of what he was feeling. Psalm 62 verse 8 says, "Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge." Pour out your heart, not a filtered version, not a cleaned up prayer that sounds nice. The actual contents of your heart. God is not offended by your honesty. He is not shocked by your doubt or your anger or your fear. He already knows what is inside you. He is just waiting for you to stop pretending and start talking. The prayer that moves God is the prayer that holds nothing back. It says, "Here is where I really am. Here is what I really feel. I am not hiding anymore." That kind of vulnerability is the foundation of real intimacy. And intimacy with God is the goal of every prayer. Number 5, the faith-filled prayer that expects him to move. There was a centurion, a Roman soldier, who came to Jesus asking for his paralyzed servant to be healed. Jesus offered to come to his house, but the centurion said something remarkable. "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed." Jesus marveled at the faith of a Gentile soldier. He said, "I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." And the servant was healed at that very moment. The centurion understood something. He understood authority. He knew that when someone with real authority speaks, things happen. He believed Jesus had that authority, and his faith-filled prayer moved the heart of God. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 says, "Without faith it is impossible to please God." Faith is not about mustering up positive thoughts. It is about trusting the character and power of the one you are praying to. It is saying, "I know who you are. I know what you can do, and I trust you to act." Faith-filled prayer does not demand. It does not manipulate. It simply trusts. It comes to God with confidence, not because of who you are, but because of who he is. That kind of prayer moves his heart. These are the prayers that move God. The humble prayer that admits need, the persistent prayer that refuses to give up, the surrendered prayer that trusts his will, the honest prayer that holds nothing back, and the faith-filled prayer that expects him to move. None of these require perfect words. None of these require you to be a spiritual giant. They require a heart that is open, real, and willing. God is not looking for eloquence. He is looking for honesty. He is not looking for performance. He is looking for persistence. He is not looking for strength. He is looking for surrender. Your prayers matter. And when you pray with these heart postures, something shifts. Not always in your circumstances right away, but always in your heart. And a heart that is humble, persistent, surrendered, honest, and faith-filled is a heart that is close to God. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, share it with someone who needs encouragement in their prayer life. Comment below, "God, teach me to pray," and subscribe for more messages that help you grow closer to him. The prayer that moves God's heart is not complicated. It is one honest word from a sincere heart, and he is listening right now.